Good evening, all. Another version of EquinEdge Action Hour. One time I called that Happy Hour. Maybe we should have EquinEdge Happy Hour again. How are you, Brady? What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Justin. I'm doing well, man. Just living life here in northern Indiana. Sad I kind of missed out on Indiana Derby Day. A lot of great racing yesterday, a lot of chalk winning, which is usually a good day for me. I am not scared to admit. But yeah, all in all, man, enjoying life. I'm at the Cook Castle tonight, home of Vaughn Mortgage here in Wakarusa, Indiana, at one of my buddies' places, having a little hometown pizza and cocktails. And so, yeah, dude, just enjoying it. I have no complaints. I'm so happy that we're 1 week away from Saratoga. So I guess what we could do is just close out Belmont with a bang and get ready to start studying, because Scotty's having us cover Saratoga for the entire summer. And so that's something to be excited about.
I'm pumped, man. I mean, I love focusing on one track. And welcome, Junior, John, Cindy, Karina, John. How many Johns do we have? One?
At least 17 of them.
Two, yeah. But Scotty's going to cover Del Mar. We'll cover Saratoga. I mean, this is going to be legit. I'm pumped. Like, you know, I've talked a lot the last few weeks. I've just not been into it lately. And I took a break and I played a little bit. And then I took a break and I bet a Sam Houston race last night and ended up winning. So that was cool. I bet one race in I think like 2 weeks or something, but I'm pumped to cover Saratoga. Like Saratoga, Del Mar summer, there's going to be some great shows. I'm excited.
Oh, absolutely. So Saratoga is my favorite race meet of the entire season. And, you know, when you're covering a sport that never really has an off season, this is like kind of our prime season. You know, this is what everybody shoots for. You know, if you ask a guy like Chad Brown, hey, you know, when are your horses going to be running? Everything points to Saratoga. So, you know, you got Derby season, Triple Crown, Preakness, Belmont, then you get a little lull. You get like, you know, 6 to 8 weeks of kind of, you know, average racing going on at Churchill, Belmont, you know, few shippers to Gulfstream, Santa Anita. Now we're like, okay, we got the Spa and then we got Del Mar. And so the next 8 weeks are going to be absolutely fantastic. You guys are going to get a lot of great content from us and Scotty. I know Scotty's going to be doing a Del Mar show. I think, I don't know, is it Saturdays probably? I think we'll probably know more details on that here in the next week, but really gearing up. And then after we're done with the summer, we'll be right on to the Breeders' Cup. And so let's rock and roll, man.
And we need to finalize this trip to Del Mar because I'm 100% in. So you and I need to connect. And,
yeah. We're going to get to Del Mar. I'm going to try to get to Saratoga once this summer as well. So, yeah, dude, I got a lot of golf tournaments I got to kind of navigate. They kind of added up somehow. I'm like, I don't even hardly play golf anymore, but hey, let's play. Okay, I guess, you know, maybe I need to say no, but you know, it's all in good fun, man. But yeah, Saratoga, the best place. Great long shot winners there if you got them on your ticket, that is. I remember, what's your if you have a favorite Saratoga moment, Justin? I got to see Midnight Bisou throw it down with a late 2 years ago in the personal ensign. And that was my favorite Saratoga moment that I've ever witnessed.
I can't like think of one. I mean, again, I've only played this game for, 5-6 years. And, it wasn't until the last couple of years that I learned like how special Saratoga was and everything. So I'm sure there's something there I can't think of off the top of my head. Chuck says he's at Saratoga every day.
Every day, man. Chuck's got the life. Chuck's got the life, dude. All day, every day.
That would be fun.
One of these years, we just got to rent a house in Saratoga for like a month. Like that's just what has to happen.
I need humble stock to go up a lot in the next 2 years, and then maybe that can happen.
Yeah.
So Indiana, I didn't pay any attention. I was on vacation with my kids. Some people may have saw on Twitter, man. We're gonna sidetrack, and for everybody, we are gonna sidetrack for a minute, but we're gonna have a special little segment. Brady's gonna have a special segment this evening at about 6:30-ish Pacific, so 9:30 Eastern. But segueing, so I'm in Eastern Washington, and on vacation with the kids. A couple of our viewers I know live over there, and Spent the first 4 or 5 days on the Columbia River. It was amazing on the water. Well, Monday, my buddy lives in Spokane, which is in the east side of the state. We take his boat out to this little lake called Silver Lake, which is just outside of Spokane. We're on the lake maybe 30 minutes and we see a fire start, right? So fire probably a couple miles off the lake. We see all the smoke. Man, we're sitting there and all of a sudden, all these planes started coming on the lake we were on with the boat and picking the water up off the lake. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. 8 planes, a helicopter with a bucket. I mean, tough situation with a wildfire. Luckily, nothing got burned down, but it was one of the coolest things, man, to be sitting there on a lake and have planes come that close and grabbing water off the lake.
That's awesome, man. You'll see that every day.
I told my kids, I'm like, you guys should remember this. You're probably never going to see it again.
I just received a screenshot from my buddies. They're out back watching EquinEdge on the back porch there. So how about that view? That's not too bad. Got the little fire going, little EquinEdge up there.
That's awesome.
Sounds like they want some pics.
I know, right? Yeah, they're trying to flip to a live show, right? So Indiana Derby, like there was all this big racing, right? Middle of the week. I didn't pay any attention. How was it?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, it was a chalk fest pretty early on, but I was playing some really short and tactical tickets. I mean, these $3.50 total tickets for a 50-cent ticket, and I was pounding the pick 5. Unfortunately, I was live to the pick 5 10 times to Folsom, and he ran like an absolute rat. And Flo did not give him a good ride at all. I'll tell you what, we've talked about this, but dude, Flo's giving these 1 to 5 shots just awful rides. And so I hope that, when Flo's not in Kentucky, I just can't play Flo. And so, he gets all these good mounts, but like when you got that 1 to 5 shot Cox monster that's going to absolutely pounce on this field, don't get him in and behind horses in last after he broke second. So I don't know, man. I'm not the one riding him, but that was tough for a lot of people that were singled to Folsom. It was Mr. Wireless, the Calhoun horse, that was very impressive near the front end. What I thought was the most impressive race of the day, though, was the Indiana Oaks, Soothsay. So kind of funny backstory about this. I'm out in Santa Anita in April for the Santa Anita Derby weekend. This was when Rock Your World upset Medina Spirit, and we're like, oh my gosh, Rock Your World's this monster. Well, I think it was the day before, Baffert had a filly running. It was either Crystal Ball or somebody else. But anyway, my buddy Tom from Fort Lauderdale was with me, and he asked Baffert how he liked his horse. And he said, actually, I like Mandela's filly better than mine. And so Mandela's filly that day was Soothsay. So I've seen a lot of screenshots and memes of the break yesterday. Soothsay stayed in the gate and like hopped up, and Pratt gave 5 lengths to the field at the start. Still got her going and won in the end. I mean, it was one of the most impressive rides I've seen in a year. You
know how much I love Flavian Pratt. He is riding out of his mind right now. Like, and good for him. I mean, I just love seeing it. Like, he is winning on, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, and I saw he's riding at Belmont, but I didn't watch any of this, but paid $8. That's not bad. It was top 7% too.
In my hometown, we have horses and buggies, believe it or not, like Amish people here. And so I got to see, this was a couple of weeks ago, I got to see a buggy pass another buggy on a county road. I'm like, that was Pratt driving, right?
He's good, man. I mean,
he's so good, man. Beautiful gift was the horse. There we go. Our viewers are so smart. Beautiful gift was Baffert's horse that got beat by the Mandela filly. So good point out there.
And then Mr. Wireless, second Scotty pick, ended up beating this 53%er, eh?
Yeah. Oh, if you look at the stats there, so the one thing that I think that we've got to get ironed out is jockey tactics in the system. If we knew jockey tactics, because Folsom, I still believe, was the best horse in the race. No discredit to Mr. Wireless whatsoever. But, I mean, look at how the stats line up. 53 win percent, 4 to 5 EE morning line. Coming out of the second highest SOR, you got a great jockey and trainer combination. Really, all the riders were good jockey trainers, but the top GSR horse as well. And so, and he was proven in stakes company. Did not get the trip.
What happened? I mean, looking at this horse just looks like a lock on paper. What happened?
So last time out, or I don't know, he usually comes from a little bit off the pace. He broke perfectly yesterday. He broke second or third, and then Flo just kind of got him in, stayed inside, let another horse cross over, and then just kind of made his way to the back of the pack. And then he actually got steadied at one point too. And I'm like, this is over. He made a huge, like very, very daring move at the top of the turn. I'm like, oh my gosh, this horse is a monster, but then kind of stalled. But he had to use all that energy too early because he wasn't put in a good spot. So, he was there that day. Justin was there that day. Wow, that's so cool. If you're going to be at the track, viewers, let us know. We'd love to see you, whether we're at Del Mar, maybe sometime in August, or Saratoga. Let us know.
All right. Should we talk Belmont closing Saturday?
Don't you think Belmont owes us a winning pick 5? Like, just to close out, just for, good karma going into Saratoga. I'm looking for some momentum here. I've been like a freaking kid on the night before Christmas waiting on Saratoga. So I started looking at this card yesterday. I'm like, all right, instead of skipping Belmont this weekend, I'm going to build bankroll for Saratoga. And how about this first race of the pick 5 sequence? My gosh.
I thought this was a very, it's just been crazy busy coming off vacation, and it was my first day back at work today and everything. I got through a few races, but I looked briefly at just the sequence. I thought this was tough. You end up right with Aiden O'Brien and some other overseas are shipping in. Obviously, you just told me the storm with the weather is coming. I knew that it was coming. It sounds like it's probably going to impact racing Saturday. I think they'll keep these races on the turf, though. I mean, the meet's closing. It's just going to be on a yielding turf. If that happens, it would be my guess. But I thought it was a tough sequence when I looked at it.
I would agree. I like the first 3 races of the sequence, and then we end with a maiden special weight and then a claiming race. And so, you've got some – I mean, this is Belmont Derby weekend. This is $1 million race, grade 1 on the turf, and we have no Chad Brown. Why does Chad not have a horse in this race? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And then later on, we have a Baffert horse running under Bill Mott, so the horse can run in New York, du jour. And so, a lot of things that I think we're going to have to do a lot of nitpicking and going into detail on trying to find out who's going to be winning these races.
All right, let's jump in. What do we got viewers saying here? So Justin overheard on Monday when he went to Los Al, Genevieve said that was the best Gamina's ever ran. Interesting.
It's pretty impressive. My buddy Eric, who he's been placing like one bet a month, and he'll drive to the OTB to go place it. That's how serious he is when he goes and bets a horse. And he actually bet Edgeway, but Edgeway was just not tough enough to keep up with Gamine this time.
So John's saying that the storm's moving quickly and should be over for Saturday. So that'll be interesting. I think the turf is still probably going to be, I would guess, soft or some component of good. And Brian, so is the Haskell next weekend?
Yeah, it is. Haskell with no whips.
Yeah. I think, Brian, I know we're going to cover Saratoga opens next weekend, right? Doesn't it? Yeah. Yes. We're going to cover Saratoga, Brian. I mean, maybe we throw in just looking at the Haskell race.
Throw the Haskell race in there for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, we can do that. We'll at least look at the race. But yeah, the Haskell with no whips should be interesting. Yeah, and John, they're not going to save it. I mean, they'll run these big stakes races on it, but will obviously be interesting. Where'd you land here? Like, I found it a little hard to get off Cone Lima, but I did think that obviously, I don't know. Is this 5-horse from Aiden O'Brien really legit or what? I mean, I don't know. I thought Cone Lima on the speed could be tough here.
Yeah, whenever you have these international horses shipping over, unless they're trained by Chad Brown, they're either going to pop and win by 8 or they're going to finish off the money. And so I was doing a little research on this Santa Barbara horse. This horse looks like the real deal to me. It's Aiden O'Brien. For some reason, his training percentage is not great here at all. I mean, I read a stat last year that he was like 1 for, I don't want to get the stat wrong, but it was like 1 to his last 50 running turf races in the United States. And so he's shipping over Ryan Moore as well, which he could be riding at Newmarket or wherever, and he's choosing to come over and ride this horse. And so he's pretty serious about it. I'm definitely giving him a strong look. Look at the GSR, 86. I mean, it doesn't get much higher than this. So this horse is bred to royalty. Without knowing a whole lot about how he's going to handle the going, if it rains, this is kind of the common knowledge that you have to have about European turf horses. They appreciate a wet surface or a bog more than the American ones do because that's what they run on every single day. And when Europe has their turf listed as good, that's like our yielding. And so let's say that it rains all day and they don't take these races off the turf. You're going to have a yielding turf course that Santa Barbara is probably going to feel like she's at home. So, I mean, my top pick, it's got to be the 5. But watch out. Aiden O'Brien horses finish second so often in these races here. So I definitely want to try and beat her. Cone Lima was my first look. But I looked, I'm like, okay, when I think of Cone Lima, when I think of Spanish Love Affair, Plum Ali, these are grade 3 types. This is a grade 1. And so can one of these grade 3 horses that I think that's where they actually belong win a grade 1? Cone Lima fits the bit if it's going to be a little wet. Her last 2 efforts have been on a good track. She's handled them pretty easily. And ever since they tried her on the dirt in the Florida Oaks, they realized, why did we go to the dirt when we've got a perfectly fine turf horse here? And you get the deciding factor in Flavian Pratt. So, I mean, you know, I'm the biggest Ortiz fan ever, you know, hate it or love it, but nobody's riding like Pratt is right now. I'd say Pratt and Rispoli, you know, and West Coast turf gets a little bit of like a red X on it. You know, it's like people don't give the turf as much respect out west, but these riders out west.
Where's Irad?
Serving a suspension. So he's
I'm so out of it. I have not been paying attention. What did he get suspended for?
I think it was a poor ride.
No.
I complained to the Naira stewards. I said, man, Irad cost me the pick 5. You need to suspend him. The
thing I would say about Cone Lima, you know, Texas bred, which was crazy, right? I mean, this Texas bred filly. I don't know about the pace here, but she's going to be on the front end, you know, and you can question the distance, right? I mean, GSR says it. But Flava Flav may give her just a perfect ride. The only other speed I saw was Spanish Love Affair with Gaff Leone, who I also thought was a little bit interesting. I totally interrupted you, though, so keep going.
No worries. Gosh, Spanish Love Affair's been breaking my heart, dude. I mean, this horse, I came onto her months ago, and I started playing her, and if you look at 3 back at Gulfstream, I hammered her that day on February 27th. You see first DQ'd because Jaramillo came up on the inside of her at 17-1 on the 4-horse. And I mean, Cone Lima or Spanish Love Affair was 5 the best, and she got taken down that day, unfortunately. I think that my affinity and love for this horse has ran its course, and I'm divorcing Spanish Love Affair going forward. I'll put Spanish Love Affair and Ride a Comet in the same room and just lock them up and throw away the key. Because those 2 horses, and they're both trained by Cassie. So I don't know. I don't like Cassie in grade 1s. I like him in grade 3s and non-graded stakes. But for me, I'm just going Cone Lima and Santa Barbara. I'm leaving off Plum Ali for a few reasons. I think it's a paceless race. And you got Rosario. So you know you're going to be off the pace. I mean, he's not giving – I mean, other than Gufo, I mean, Gufo was not that impressive on Saturday. I bet Tie to the Sea at 7-1 for Louis to go gate to wire. And Gufo had some problems in the stretch, and for a while it looked like Tie to the Sea was actually fighting back. So right now Rosario's going through some kind of funk where he's not riding these good horses like you think he would. Rosario is that guy where he will pull a race out of his rear end like nobody else can. And it'll be on this horse that you thought had no chance. And he'll just mow them all down in the stretch. Then he'll be on a monster and find a way to get into trouble. So I'm not trusting in grade 1 rides right now with Rosario. Hopefully that changes come Saratoga.
Yeah, I get it. My buddy had said that Gufo was running. I didn't even know that, but I think there's a lot of question marks on what of these horses are going to get the distance. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can. Junior,
you're back. You're back. Go ahead. You're good.
Okay. Yeah. I said Junior brought up a great point here that Pratt's going to have to carry Cone Lima across. I agree, Junior. And that goes back to the whole point about these being grade 3 horses to win a grade 1. I think Pratt's going to be the difference, though. I think Pratt makes up a few lengths for this horse.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing with her, I think, is, everybody knows this by now, is I love the morning line play here at 2-1 versus 5-1. She's only 16% versus 42%. I think from a pace perspective, he's going to give her a great trip off the rail. And the wonder again was the 82 SOR here, right? And that's where Plum Ali tried to come late and couldn't get there. Is an extra furlong going to help? I don't know. It might hurt because if there's no pace here, Cone Lima is going to get an easy walk the dog trip with Flavian Pratt, and I think the question is just going to become is what's going to happen with Spanish Love Affair. But I think Pratt gets the lead here and can walk the dog. I really think there's huge potential for that to happen. So
5-1, that's pretty good value. I mean, for a great horse, but yeah. Hey, can we give the harness pick of the night out by the anonymous handicapper?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I got my buddy here who is anonymous, but a harness track specialist, and so he's going to give you some insight into Hoosier Park tonight.
Yeah, Brady. Hoosier Park's featuring a $48,000 trot, which to you thoroughbred people, that's not very big, but in the harness world, that's a pretty good purse. Race 9, which is about 4 minutes away from post time, which in harness world, that means about 10 minutes. I'm going to give you a lock of the night. Lock of the night. And by the way, Irad fell off that horse because Brady was going to hit the pick 5, and that would make TVG look really bad. So they paid Irad to fall off the back of that horse that night. But so far, a great broadcast, guys. Race 9 at Hoosier Park. I'm keying the 3, Swing for the Fences. This is a Peter Wren and Melanie Wren combo, driver-trainer combo here. They're upgrading to driver Trace Tetrick. He is one of Hoosier Park and North America's leading drivers. The last race, this horse fought back gamely, won by 2 lengths after getting passed up at the 3/4 pole. Finished his last quarter in about 27 for a trotter that's getting down. That is my lock of the card for this race. What I am going to offer you guys free of charge tonight only is a TikTok Clocker's Corner bonus pick 3. This is a $2 pick 3, okay? Now, this $2 pick 3, this isn't like the 50-cent pick 3s where they give you 8 horses in every race. I'm going to give you 1 horse in the 9th, 2 in the 10th, and 1 in the 11th. Write it down, mark it, cash it. Race 9, I'm going to go obviously with 3, Swing for the Fences. Race 10, I have to go with number 1, Top Bill Alexander. This is Mike Osteen. He's an Illinois cheater, but in Indiana, they like his money. And then the 6th horse, Frequent Image. It's Bobby Taylor, owned and trained and driven. Watch out, 6, Frequent Image. In race 11, you got 1, Always a Spinster, Trace Tetrick. Winners of the last 3. He's going for 4 in a row tonight. You heard it first here with your TikTok Clocker's Corner. Bonus pick 3, $2 key, the 3 in the 9th, the 1, 6 in the 10, and the 1 in race 11. 2 minutes. Better hurry.
Nice job, Anonymous Capper. They said that they just dropped to 4 to 5. So the viewers are pounding.
Pound it.
What?
Yep. Thank you.
What just happened? We need more of this. That was amazing.
We get it. It's anonymous. I love it. We got to get EE onto the trotters.
Right?
This is a buddy of mine that I go to the track with quite often, and he grew up around harness and standardbred racing, and until they closed down the Balmoral Park that used to be in Illinois, and so he's been to Gulfstream with me, Indiana Grand, and we have a good time. So there's that, and we'll maybe start doing that every once in a while.
All right, let's talk the 3 and the 6. So a couple of people talked the 6. Nazuna, and then Higher Truth. This is Chad Brown horse with Jose Ortiz. This 3 horse, so lightly raced, is going to love 10 furlongs. I mean, it's won twice at the distance. So I guess the question here is, can this horse step up? So breaks his maiden, comes back, wins in a nice allowance race at a 62. I mean, this is pegging this at a 76. I mean, is this horse going to step up and win a grade 1?
That's a tough one, man. I looked past the horse. For what you mentioned is the class. And all of these horses are technically stepping up, but they've at least gone against graded stakes company. This is this horse's first try against graded stakes, but he's going into a grade 1. I mean, for $1 million, Chad's got one. It's an attractive price, 12 to 1 morning line. EE's got it 6 to 1. EquinEdge thinks it could be maybe the 4th favorite.
I mean, if the 1 gets pressed, if Cone Lima can't wire and the 5 is over bet, I can see the 3. I mean, you all can see it in my notes. I put these little stars. The 3 would be, and I do think the 5 has potential. I don't understand the wet GSRs on turf. So, when looking at the 5 and you look at the wet GSR, the number is awful. But I don't know, this is something I have not researched. Is this related to dirt or turf? It's the lowest number on the thing, but
horses never run without Lasix.
The 5 or the 3? The 3. Yeah. I mean, if I'm taking a long shot, I would take the 3 over the 6, which the 6 is the Scotty long shot. But, I think that I get it with the 3, you guys. I mean, and this is a spot where, I mean, Chad doesn't have a horse in the Belmont Derby, but he has a horse in the Belmont Oaks that's taking a massive step up. I mean, she could be special.
They can place a horse. It's Chad. Yeah, I mean, I can't talk anybody off of her. That's for sure. And at 12 to 1, you get this horse home. She's not going to be 12 to 1 come post time. She'll be more like 5 to 1. I bet 5 to 1 probably, maybe lower. But this is a hard one for me. I think I'm getting talked into it a little bit. I mean, look at how she's won at 10 furlongs in the last 2 starts.
Yeah,
she's proven at the distance.
Yeah, and she's coming. So she's just in her form cycle. Broke her maiden, didn't look like she had a tough trip first out, ducked in at the chute, and then came back and won, and then ran a great in allowance race. I mean, she's just improving. This is, I think you said it, right? This is not a grade 1 race for the Americans. I mean, and if Santa Barbara doesn't win, I think any of these horses could win. I personally would take the 1 and the 3 over any of the others. I know Junior talked about the 7 maybe coming in. I just don't think she's going to get the right trip with Rosario. But I don't know. Let's throw the 3 on, unless we want to
throw the 3 on. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I'd rather have the 3 than the 7 in this situation. I know I'm going to get on the 7.
Yeah, in the 6, the thing about this horse, I watched her a little bit. Velasquez riding, which is intriguing. GSR is somewhat intriguing, going longer. as a 2-year-old, ran in the juvenile, didn't do a ton. She then struggled to win in this 70. I mean, I guess I find it tough that the 6 is going to beat the 5 personally. I guess if the 5 doesn't run or something, this horse somehow shows up as the Scotty long shot. But for me, I would add the 3 as a long shot. So let's add the 3, and then we're going to move on. Unless, what happened in the harness race?
I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll hear pretty soon. Let us know how the harness race went. Okay, so let's go 1-3-5 here. That's good with me.
All right. Move on to the 8th, the Victory Ride Stakes. Grade 3 for 3-year-olds on the dirt, sprinting 6.5. So, I mean, the 7 horse is only 16%. Australia. I mean, Australasia. I mean, is she good? I mean, 16% is crazy. I thought that she would be higher here, but this race looked wide open.
Yeah. And you get Rosario. I feel so bad. No, I really don't. I don't feel bad at all.
43% with Brad Cox. Wow.
Yeah. Nick Sco had a lot to do with that, I think. But yeah, I mean, Flo's even won on this horse. So, I mean, this horse is good. It doesn't matter who's riding him. I mean, Australasia deserves to be the top pick. Doesn't mean he's necessarily a single here either. I looked at Red Ghost, this 6 horse that Johnny V is going to be riding. I like Red Ghost a lot. I think that she's going to be loose under the front end, and going 6.5. I think she might be able to hang on with this. No changes on anything. They're keeping the same jock. Not adding any blinkers. Don't think we need this. No Lasix or anything. I think that this 6 at 10-1. Are you kidding me? When I opened this up, I was like, okay, I'm thinking Australasia is probably going to be like 8-5. Red Ghost is probably going to be 3-1. No, 10-1. And if we look at what EE thinks, EE says 5-2 on this horse. So I am definitely playing, and rightfully so, that this should be the Scotty long shot. That's how you know all the algorithms are aligning, is when you're like, okay, 10-1 shot, Scotty long shot makes sense because of the odds. But then 5-2 EE morning line, they're saying this horse should be co-favored. So this is where you really can blow up a ticket. Horses that I don't mind stepping up in class are horses that go out under the lead. So if we look at SORs, Red Ghost is only coming out of 64 races, which is the weakest in the field, but it's a horse that goes to the front that never gets to eye another horse the entire race. So he doesn't have to run down anybody. All he has to do is break. So if she can do that and get to the front, she might just turn them all away. Whereas a horse that's stepping up in class, say one that's facing winners for the first time, that comes from off of it has to pass horses. And that's something that's kind of hard to teach to some. Also, you got to have Australasia. I mean, you'd be stupid not to. This is not one of those situations where I think you give up too much ticket equity to single a horse that's won 6 in a row. I mean,
yeah,
I'm taking a swing with Red Ghost here, but I mean, the 7's by far the horse to beat. I was just 6 and 7.
I looked at this race for a while. I really did. I think there's going to be a lot of pace here. I really do. I think that. So if you look at the 4, 100%, this. She's going to gun for the lead. Louisiana bred, along with Australasia. I can't even talk tonight. Then you have Bella Sophia, going to have speed, likely. I hate the rail, though, with Manny Franco. Like
quicksand.
See it. No, I mean, Miss Brazil, I think, is going to show speed as well. The problem is she's not fast enough for Jose Ortiz. That's why I don't like the 3 here. So I know it's the second Scotty pick, but I don't know if she's really tactical. I think she probably has to have the lead, but she's not fast enough. I thought that, one of my long shots was Super Sensational. So I looked at her quite a bit, and I'm like, okay. So ran at Woodbine for Cassie, ran at 7 furlongs, ran great. Then they dumped her in 3 straight tough stakes in grade 2 races. She's well bred, curling out of, it's this cattery. When you look back here at Churchill, so the 8 Bells was a great race, if I remember correctly. Ran a respectable 4th, going 7 furlongs. The thing here is I think she's going to sit off the speed. Yeah, and Cindy's saying she doesn't think the 6 is going to get the lead. I would doubt it. I would guess the 1 or the 4 get the lead with the 3 up there as well. I think that the 5 is going to get a great trip off of the speed. I think the 7 is going to be tough, though. And I don't see how you leave Red Ghost off the ticket with that type of value. I don't know at 6.5. The thing with Super Sensational, you don't really know with this horse. I mean, she's ran well sprinting, though, and has been facing much tougher. So that would be the only thing I would add outside of the 7 and 6. I didn't love anything else but the 5. So why don't let's add the 5. We'll go 3 deep. We're not going to play the 1. And we'll lock and then regenerate.
Yeah, pretty much what this race comes down to for me is I think that the 6 can go out on the front end, but if there's extra pace with the 1 and the 4 with the 6, it's a pace meltdown for the 5 or the 7.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's going to be interesting.
One of these races where the 4, Louis gets pumping across the far turn, and he just starts moving back. I've seen it time and time again. I do love Louis on the front end when he can make the front, but not when he's eye to eye with someone else. For some reason, if you watch so many of these races, I mean, Uncle Chuck comes to mind. Like when he was going against Tiz the Law and company up at the Traverse last year. Louis gets pumping on the far end. It's not a good sign. But I'm fine with that for sure. We'll get on to the Belmont Derby, $1 million grade 1 for 3-year-olds.
There's more shippers, right? So
yeah, we got the European Invasion coming in for Aidan O'Brien.
So is the 2 special? We talked about the 5 in the first leg. So how special is the 2? And I guess we lost our harness race, didn't we?
Yeah, it's too bad. Chalk a big goose egg up for the anonymous Kappa. I'm going to tell him to get. He wasn't using EquinEdge. I don't think we got Hoosier Park on here yet. So
I love it. Where'd you go here?
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to tell him he's going to do some more homework.
He had great commentary, though.
Yeah, he did. I liked it. I like T-Trick. Trace T-Trick. That's he's probably one of the best. He's probably the IRAD of the harness world. But we went to Hoosier Park one time, and his brother Tim won like 4 races that day. I was like, it's just like this is the Ortiz of Hoosier Park.
So are they brothers? That's the
yeah. Tim and Trace T-Trick. The drivers. I think one's in New York, one stays in Indiana. But
so the Belmont Derby. I don't even know how to pronounce this horse's name. Bashaway Ballet. I mean, I probably butchered that. How special is he?
We're going to find out at approximately 5:12 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday how good he is, because I have no idea. This is the toughest thing. Horse is proven at a distance of 10 furlongs, clearly, on a good going, and that's what we're going to get on Saturday. The 2's a must-use, in my opinion. But the 5 du jour is going to take money because of what he did on Derby Day to win the American Turf. This is a Baffert horse. Don't let it fool you. It says Mod up there. This is a Bob Baffert horse. His wife owns this horse. They just had to switch trainers so that Bob could legally right now run it in the NYRA circuit for $1 million. So let's pad Mr. Baffert's pocket. I'm trying to beat the 5. I mean, he tripped out perfectly last time. And I remember when you and me were doing the Scotty show with Scotty, you and Scotty were on this 5 horse at like 5 or 6 to 1. And I mean, you guys pounded him on Derby Day. I didn't like it that day because I've just never liked a Baffert horse on the turf. But you guys looked past that and you saw that he actually had real talent. And he's won 3 in a row, proven against a grade 2. I'm trying to beat this horse here because one thing I will say about Southern California horses is that I hate them on a wet turf track. They never get to run on that in Southern California, ever. I mean, it never rains at, Santa Anita or Del Mar hardly. And if it does, they're off the turf anyway. So the horse has no experience, running on a going like this. And I think he got the trip of a lifetime, which you guys perfectly handicapped. And that was the time to bet him when he was 5-6 to 1. He's not for me here, but that's just my own personal opinion. I'm me more than anybody get emotionally attached to a horse like Raging Bull. I'll bet the ball if he's running on concrete or quicksand. But that's when you're handicapping, you've got to kind of put that out of sight, out of mind. I'm looking at St. Hood a little bit. You get Rosario, unfortunately, but he's 10 to 1. And I think this race is wide open. So I did like St. Hood a little bit. Tokyo Gold. Did you see who the trainer was here? Kobayashi.
Yeah. Who is
this horse can probably eat more oats than any other horse in the barn because of his trainer's Kobayashi. But yeah, I tweeted earlier this week. I was like, isn't Kobayashi the greatest athlete of all time? He's won like 14 championships out of the last 15. You get Johnny V up. I don't know. If I had to choose one or the other, I'm going with the O'Brien horse with the 2. I'm going with some St. Hood as well. And then I was also, I was taking a look at, I couldn't get off the 6, but the 6 is coming off Lasix and going a little bit further. What do you think so far? Because I'm undecided on this race. My notes were all over the place here. I was hoping we'd be able to spread, but what do you think here?
I guess I like the 3, so interesting. I thought the 2 is going to be tough. When I looked at this race, I don't like De Jour here at all, only because that American turf race was not that great. It did not come back good out of Churchill for the horses that came out. That's something that once we get the link feature, we'll be able to easily click on and show. But if you look at who De Jour beat and got a really good pace set up, I just don't love him here. I think that there could be some speed a little bit, but I'm a little bit banking that Aiden O'Brien, that this 2 horse is special. Going, I don't know what LEO is. Obviously, it's overseas, but supposedly this horse got cut in its last race on the leg and had a tough trip and just didn't run great. So I'm forgiving the last. The problem is that was only a 66. So if you believe the SOR, this is a step up here. I guess on St. Hood, I'm curious, did you just throw the GSR out the window?
Yeah, this is one of those surprise Rosario horses for me. So I've seen this horse. I was all over this horse last time because weren't they trying to get him on? Yes, the race last time came off the turf. So to me, I saw it as an angle of they were trying to get this horse off of dirt, run him on turf, and it didn't work. He was able to win on the dirt again on a sloppy track. And so I think Pletcher had in mind that we need to get this horse on the turf based on the way the horse ran on synthetic. And so I did throw the GSR out on this. I know it kind of contradicts a little bit, but I'm looking at the trainer's intentions and how the horse ran on synthetic. Had the horse never had that race on synthetic where he got steadied like crazy, should have beat Like a King by a mile. This should have been your Jeff Ruby Stakes winner. I'm saying that Todd Pletcher sees something in this horse about wanting the turf. And so I'm willing to give him a shot. And he's got turf workouts that I thought were pretty good. So at 10 to 1 morning line, the GSR sucks on this thing. Absolutely sucks. Saying it's going to hate it. I'm just hoping that this horse, since we're in grade 1 company, these horses all been racing for a year or more. I'm hoping that I can beat that, but it could make me look like a fool too. That's all part of handicapping.
I'm wondering, I mean, maybe it's just a small sample. So
If this one
Steven's
goes to
saying,
the dirt, I'm betting St. Hood.
yeah, it's just, well, there's no way they're taking this thing off the turf. He says, we're getting a lot of rain tonight into Friday. Some turf races may be put to dirt. I don't think there's no way they're putting this Belmont Derby on the dirt. I think they'll run this thing and run. They might take the last two off the turf, but I don't see them taking this off. I mean, maybe the 4 will run on turf here. All right, so 2 and 4. I don't love the 5. You want to take the 5 off the ticket?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And maybe the viewers can help me with this. Does anybody know the sire, Mashawish, very well, or how long he's been in stud? Because I know sometimes we'll see this like we did with Medina Spirit, because Medina got like a 98 or a 99 GSR for the Preakness, but that's because the sample size of the sire was really small. So I'm wondering if maybe that could be the case with St. Hood. That's just my inkling.
Well, so Karina, help us out here because you're already way down the path of what Brady's asking. So Lemon Drop Kid Mare wants turf, okay? And then on the sire side, 1 on turf. But so my guess here is the breeding. That's why entered stud in 17. So my guess is that, and what about on the mare side, Karina? My guess is that the breeding here is light, because you actually can sometimes see this, which is how you can look at the GSR, right? So when you look at the plus, look how wide it is. I mean, a 69 down to a 28. And you could obviously get rid of maybe the 870, but and even look from 10 to 10 and a half, it's a 13-point difference here, and then it shows that from on a dirt wants to go 2 turns, but on turf wants to go just 1. But maybe that's just because the breeding is light and there's not a lot in the sample size.
Yeah, I would agree. And one thing, if you go back to Handy View, Justin, on St. Hood, when I'm looking at a horse doing something for the first time, go to GSR Plus. I will look at the turf number as a whole more than maybe what the distance is, just to see if the horse is going to be okay with the turf. So for me, I liked him because he can go 10 furlongs. We know that. He can go the distance. Now we're just wondering if he can go the surface. And I thought at 10 to 1, you're probably going to get close to that. That was worth a shot.
Yeah. EquinEdge has it 6 to 1, so always got to love that. So, and I don't, Steven, I could see the 2 being the single. A lot of people are talking up this. I've seen quite a bit on people talking up.
The next Tarnawa, you never know. Europeans, I always try to beat them because of the shipping. Shipping's hard on a horse, and running in America for the first time. And notice how this horse breaks. European horses do not break fast like ours do, because it's more of a pack race. And it's more of they just turn the jets on for the final 3 furlongs, where our horses are going faster early. But yeah, I mean, we're trying to beat this odds-on favorite for sure in case it has a misstep. But I totally agree. The 2's the horse to beat, no doubt about it.
So we're going to toss the 5. I thought the 3 was a little bit interesting. I thought that should like the distance. This horse is going to be a complete kind of bomber, but second GSR, I mean, Lascano riding on the turf, going to try to win the Belmont Derby. I mean, he was fire for a while there on the turf. I don't know, though. I mean, the 6 and 7, I mean, these horses are all 7 to 9%. They're all the same thing. So do we just go 2-4? Do we want to add anybody else?
I think 2-4 for me. I mean, I think this 2 wins the race. I think if it has a misstep, Rosario, this horse actually fits Joel from a ride perspective. I think on how he's going to want to ride on this turf course. He's going to be sitting mid pack, I believe, and so sometimes these Euros will get so far back in a paceless race where the closers sit mid-pack and they are so close to the front runners, even if the front runners go slow. Beware of that.
Yeah. Colin, good question. I don't know, but we can pass it along. You know what you could do actually is send a message through intercom and ask them on intercom if they're going to do it. Unless, Brady, have you heard if they're going to do a Saratoga package?
I haven't heard yet, but I'm guessing we're probably going to have a few conversations this week, and we'll be able to give the viewers a little bit more info on Spa probably by next show, I would think. And you know what? Me and Justin, we can do whatever we want with this show. That's the beauty of it. And so if you guys have some ideas on what you want us to cover at Spa, I'm all in on Spa. So let us know what you'd like to see. I mean, as far as we know right now, me and Justin are probably going to stick to the Saturday cards. But that doesn't mean we can't call an audible every once in a while too. So let us know what you guys want to see, and we're happy to make a few changes too.
I'm pumped on covering just a single track for the whole meet. I love doing that. Now it's time for the homework. The homework between now and the start of the meet. Everything I can learn about the Spa.
Oh yeah.
So this 10th race, there are a ton of 1% and 2% horses here. So I did not look at this. So did you look at this at all?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this 3 horses top GSR by 6 points, huge win percent, morning line like second Scotty pick.
Yeah. This 3-horse Ranger Fox, 3rd-time starter for John Terranova, who I like as a trainer. He's kind of sneaky good. He really sneaks up on you when you least expect. He chose Rosario to ride. And so this is this horse's 4th start. He's going to be out in the lead. He's going against a bunch of horses that have, lack of a better word, maybe some worse or some less experience. And so, he deserves to be the favorite. I went to the 5 here. The Todd Pletcher runner, Iban with Luis Saez. And what I liked about this is that they are going to be switching surfaces, and the horse showed speed on the dirt, making me think that Saez is going to try to take this 5-gate to wire on the turf, and he's shortening up. And I love a horse that shows a lot of speed early that shortens up because they're kind of going to be running in their element. Sometimes when we see horses go longer, say from 6 furlongs to a mile for the first time, if they showed speed at 6, they're definitely going to show speed at a mile, and sometimes they burn their wheels on the front end. I mean, I think that the 5 is going to get the trip. And so the 5 was my top choice. I'm not going to be stupid and leave off the 3. And after I got through those 2 horses of my quote-unquote must-uses, I started to look elsewhere of, okay, what horse could sneak up, maybe get a better trip, maybe surprise. I thought that the 8 Migrate was one that you were definitely going to want to look at. This is the horse that Alvarado's riding for Mott. Finished 4th in his first start, going 7 furlongs the distance, which, as we know, is a very tricky distance, and it was off slow. So that's a trip note for me to see that the horse made up ground in the stretch after breaking dead last. The horse could have just thrown in the towel, but no, he made up 6 lengths from where he started. So only finished 3 lengths off of it. If he gets a better start, who knows? Maybe he's a win contender. So I'm going to say that this 8 horse improves off of his first start. And 3-1 morning line's pretty short. So I think they had some high hopes for this horse in training, and the morning line odds makers definitely taking note of that. I also looked at the 9 Everesting. This is a Safi Joseph runner out of Frosted, and you get Jose Ortiz up. They've run in between this distance of 7 furlongs. They've gone a mile and they've gone 6. So this kind of hits it right between the eyes. I like the outside posts in these races, though, a lot, because it's a sprint race with a lot of time to get into the race. And so, that's something that is definitely important to me. And then I also went outside to the Chad horse, Deregulation, that Manny Franco, who is getting a lot of Chad Brown mounts recently and is actually riding pretty well. So for me, I had to take a look at the Scotty Longshot as well. I didn't like him for the win. Just wasn't a win contender. So for me, I liked 3, 5, 8, 9, 11.
The 11, the morning line doesn't like. That's the only thing I don't like there. What, we're going to have to either cut here or cut in the last. I guess the question becomes, where do we need more coverage? I didn't look at either one of these races.
Yeah, I mean this one was tough because you have a 9-5, 3-1, 3-1, 5-2, 5-1, and so are any of these MTOs? I'm wondering is maybe I missed that, but no, we got turf.
Well, they could be, which is maybe that might be why the win percents are so
5 might be an MTO now that I think about it, because he's never ran on turf before. So I'll have to verify that, but I that's why this race was the most the tough for me. The 5 is an MTO. 5 is an MTO.
And
what John's saying, is that true? Can we confirm that? Yep. There we go. There's the MTO. So my top pick, yeah. So I guess I'm not going to get my 5 out on the lead. That was an error on my end, handicapping wise. Let's say this: if it rains like cats and dogs, and they leave the Belmont Oaks and the Belmont Derby on the turf, this is the race that'll come off. So this is the one where you might get 5 as a single if it comes off.
Yeah, and so the 1A, the 2, and the 5 are all main track only. So the 2, you can see here, these horses have just been running. Yeah, I mean, look at the GSR difference. So, I mean, if you look at the 2 running on the dirt, I mean, but they're not they'll run this thing, at 7 furlongs on the dirt?
Probably, yeah.
Huh. Let's go to the last, and we'll come back to the 10th race. So they might take this one off the turf as well, right? I mean, if this thing is super yuck, they're going to pull both these last 2 races potentially off the turf. This is a 25,000. Yeah, this is a bunch of winners. This 11 horse has won 12 times.
This is a battle of the old men here. Yeah, Noble Thought, the 11 horse at 2-1, Rosario for Gustavo. Yeah, to me, this was a wide open race. It was hard for me to really narrow in this race as well. I liked the 3. I liked the 4. I liked the 5. I liked the 11. And then I even liked a little bit of the 12. So, but for me, it kind of came down. I like Solio a lot, the 3 horse. Let's take a look at him. You get Castellano riding for Noda. Like I've said before, Noda can really pop up and bite you when you're not looking. 5-2 morning line on this horse was a little tight for me. Solio is more like a 5-1 morning line horse that I like playing, but not really at 5-2. So, I was looking at him. The class of the race is Noble Thought, 12-time winner. Let's look at the win percentage for rejected again, 35%. That's decently high in a claiming race where he's 6-1. So for me, usually when I'm seeing a horse that's like, gonna be 7-5, 8-5, we get like a 35% win because favorites win about 1/3 of the time. They're saying that this horse is going to win 1/3 of the time and he's 6-1. So the 5, to me, look at the pace advantage that this horse is going to have, especially in the claiming ranks. You're getting a bunch of horses that run like they run a 1-speed type, like a merry-go-round, where they don't really pass horses. And so the 5 for me is looking like the play more and more. The more that I look at this race. So for me, if I had to really narrow, I'd probably be going 3, 5, 11.
Yeah, the 5 Scotty Longshot as well. I mean, the 11, you just can't leave off the ticket. There's no way, even from that post, I think. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough post out there. Horses won from 11 hole before though, in a 66. Crazy. I mean, when I look at this, the 5 is. I mean, it's crazy. This horse is 35%. Compare. Mike Maker for Saez. Maker, did he claim this horse back in May? I bet he did.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be my guess.
If this race comes off, I like the 2. I think so. Morning Line hates this 2, and I think
but
it's because it doesn't like
because it's on the turf.
Yeah. So if this comes off, I think I might single if these races come off. And now I hope Naira does this. Let's not wait until the pick 5 starts to take races off the turf. I mean, I think that's been done too much in our game recently. And so I'm going with the 2 here if this race comes off the turf. So I would probably single up a pick 5 if it comes off, going 5 into the 2 if it's off the turf in both of these races.
So, all right, let's do a turf ticket and then we're going to do a dirt ticket. So we talked about in the 10th, the 5 is main track only with the 1A and I think the 2. So if it's on the turf, we're doing 3. Did we talk the 8?
I love the 8.
Yeah.
I love the 8 because of the bad trip last time and the blown start. Yeah.
And then the 5 is dirt, so we're gonna do that. And then the 2 was dirt, if I remember correctly. And I think the 1A was dirt. Yeah, the 2's dirt here too. So 3, 8, and who was the other turf horse?
I thought the 9. I liked the 9 over the Chad. I'm fine with leaving the Chad off here in this maiden special weight. If Chad had a good horse, he's going to wait till Saratoga for this one. So I'm not too concerned about the 11. 11's my 4th choice if we had to add one more.
All right, so 3, 8, 9 there. And in the last, we talked the 5 for sure on the turf. The 2 is going to come back on the dirt ticket. Or do we need the 2? We want
2's an MTO.
Okay, yeah, so dirt ticket.
And then 15-1 EE morning line. So we in a terrible GSR on this turf. So I thought Solio the 3, and I thought 5 rejected again.
What about the 11? No,
11. Yes, the 11. Yeah. Those are my 3.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the turf ticket, right? And then if it goes on the dirt, the 5 will come back on in the 10th, and the 3 is probably going to scratch. No, maybe not. What about the 8? Let's look at GSR Plus. That'll probably tell us. That 3 will probably stay on. The 8 might stay on. Huh. Well, I think the thing here is the 5 ends up becoming a must use, right, on the dirt. Did we talk about the 2?
Yes.
Yeah. And in the last, though, the 2 isn't included, but the 2 here on the dirt, Linda Rice, who knows who's going to ride. I mean, maybe, well, I think what you do is you probably can play 4 deep here, right? And in the last, we talked about the 2. This is on the dirt, right? Was the 2. And so it's the 5. Who was main? 1 and 2 are main track only in the 11th. So keep the 5. The 11's going to come off the turf, would be my guess. So maybe it's just 2-5 in the last.
Yeah, I think you got to get real skinny if these come off. I mean, for me, I'm probably singling up the 5 and the 10th, and then maybe the 2 and the 11th if it comes off. But let's hope for the best. Hope for some light rain.
Well, there's like a mix. There's a dirt ticket, a turf ticket, a mixed ticket. Like,
yeah. Well, we're gonna cap off Belmont. Hopefully, hit a nice ticket. Let's make 1,000 on this one. To start our bankroll into Saratoga. And dude, I'm gonna start studying. I'm at my buddy's place. He's got this kick-ass like 40-inch computer monitor that you can have 3 different screens up at once. I'm gonna order one for handicapping purposes.
I like it. This will be good for Saratoga.
Yeah, you guys should see this monitor. My gosh, this thing I've never seen one where it's 3 separate ones, but all on one screen. So like, I don't have to click over and go over here or over there. Like, I might just start doing every show from here, but I'm gonna have to ask.
And we'll have a new harness segment that happens.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The anonymous capper who's just outside having a cocktail said that his second pick won at 5-2, the 1 horse. So wanted me to give him a little love on the show. So congrats.
We just missed our single in the first leg.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, we need to do a few things. We need to hit this ticket. We need to try to get out to Del Mar together. That would be cool. Probably gonna have to be August for me, I'm thinking.
We're talking Whitney weekend at Saratoga.
Possible Whitney weekend. Yep. Because the Arlington Million's the week after that in Chicago, and I can't miss that one. It'll be the last million. And then NHC's coming up at the end of the month in August.
You're gonna have a busy August.
Oh, I know. Hey, wouldn't have it any other way, man.
It's perfect summer racing.
It is. It is.
All right, brother. It was fun. Now I'm getting ready though. Now we have Del Mar, we have Saratoga coming this end of summer. This will be a good card at Belmont though. But I'm excited for middle of July, and my birthday, dude's in a week. So my birthday is right when Del Mar and Saratoga open. So what more can I ask for? Right? Exactly.
That's awesome, man. Happy early birthday. Maybe are you going to be doing the show on your birthday? When's it? Next Thursday or?
Yeah, well, is today the 8th?
Yeah.
Oh, my birthday is next Thursday.
Perfect. We have a little birthday. Birthday at the spot.
We will do a show for sure.
All right.
All right, man.
Cheers, brother. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
It was a pleasure. All right. Talk to you soon.